I'm very anti-gym in terms of I don't want to change my body.
When we talk beauty pageants, we're thinking, these buffed up guys with muscles and are very tall and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got big dreams, but people think I'm mad sometimes.
How different this one was, that it doesn't, only take into consideration your physique.
It's not about what you have on the outside. That fades away over age, whatever. But what you have inside and what people will remember, that you can't change.
What are some of the things that would say become challenges for us compared to maybe straight people, if I should put it that way?
Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
Welcome to another edition of The Real Queer Talk. I am Tholo, the Inimitable one, Motaung, and we are wrapping up a bright month for that matter. So we're also nearing the end of the year, and we don't just get there, but we have exciting stuff to share with you. And talking about exciting, today we have a guest in studio. His name is Gevahn Brandt, and Gevahn is an entrepreneur, founder and director of a few beauty pageant companies that we're going to talk about in a moment. Gevahn will be unpacking all of that. And Gevahn holds more than 10 titles in beauty pageantry. So this is the right person to talk about beauty pageantry, particularly in the queer space, to say why are they passionate about it and why should we really pay attention to beauty pageantry as we see it happening throughout the year, all the time. And Gevahn, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm well in yourself.
I'm well, thanks.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be
And
here.
I'm so happy that you were able to come.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
When I first got the invite, I was like, I made it.
Yeah.
Once you get a talk show, you're like, I made it.
Yeah.
And so I was very excited.
Yeah.
So,
but I think also, with the work that you have done and over the years, because you didn't just start now in the pageantry space, you have really made a mark, particularly in the queer society. It's incredible work, and winning the Mr. Nation SA.
I won the first runner-up title, and then I'm now the Mr. Gay Nation's hero.
Yeah.
So that is the charity award, which is also actually the award I was going for with the winning title, although I got the first runner-up.
Yes.
But I still got that title because that one was a crucial one for entering this pageant. Because it was my entire basis, pageants for me is around charity.
Right.
And to get that award by just giving it everything, and I must say it was a tight show, eh? The gents, they were playing me. I've never had such big competition. So I was like, getting that award at the end was important.
Yeah.
So now I'm very blessed.
And preparing for it, what did it take for you to get there?
Okay, so preparing for any pageant, you've got your voting lines. So on voting lines, I don't care with that because I feel that's just making money. And then you've got your preparation in terms of how comfortable you're going to be on stage, not necessarily gymming.
Okay.
I'm very anti-gym in terms of I don't want to change my body. I don't want to be desired.
Yeah.
So if you like what you see, then that is the type of people I want to hang out with. I want to surround myself with because there's nothing as bad as people wanting to change you. So that is the important part for me, number one. Then after that, sponsorships. Branding yourself, and especially branding yourself as a LGBTQI. I think we're in that type of day and age again where people now start to accept it or they start to live with it rather, but they don't support it in terms of what my dream is to go with it.
Okay.
So the funding was a big sponsor problem,
Yeah.
but I've pulled through. And then the last preparation was that stage work, eh? They say to you it's a
For the
journey.
final way.
Yeah, you have to put on a show, eh? And
Oh.
especially this type of show, I've had a lot of pageants. Like I've said, I've done a lot of pageants so far. And I said I'm finally going to end off with this one. If I'm going to win this one, obviously there will be an international.
Yeah.
But I said I'm going to end off strong, and I feel like I've ended on strong.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, it's still a long year.
yeah.
As a runner-up, I did not think this.
Yeah, and now you're talking about the international part of it. But before we get to the international part of it, because generally when we talk beauty pageants, we're thinking, these buffed up guys with muscles and are very tall and all of that. Can you tell us about how different this one was? That it doesn't, only take into consideration your physique.
So there is that type of pageants where it is men's health. You have to be a bodybuilder, gym guy. They want a manly guy because that's where most of the brands will sponsor.
Yeah.
And then you get the pageants, which only those type of pageants I do and I host.
Okay.
It's based on charity and what you have to give rather than what you look like.
Okay.
Because I always say, it's not about what you have on the outside. That fades away over age, whatever. But what you have inside and what people will remember, that you can't change.
Sure.
That will stay the same from day one up until day whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what this pageant was about. So it's about what you can offer your community, and community not just as an LGBTQI, but as a human, someone who lives with the people in the community, who can work with them or even go above and beyond in the neighboring, because that is still part of our communities. It's just the one that needs a little bit more help. And that's where people forget about them.
Yeah.
So that is what this pageant is all about. It's about helping those that's being forgotten, or forgotten rather. Sorry for my English. So, yeah, I think that is the journey that this one represents. It represents what you have to give.
Yeah. So let's then also talk about before we go there. So the international part of it, moving from the national part to the international part, just share a little bit about that with us.
So this pageant's one, I do not know how the international works that I just competed in. Although Gert, who won the competition, he will most probably be doing that part, and then we'll all find out because we are a very strong group of gents. And a lot of times you'll hear that in pageants, it's a good group, we can work together, and then afterwards no one talks to each other.
Yeah.
We went to Pride together the weekend after, and people looked at us like,
wow,
the three of you can walk together. You are standing there taking photos with the entire world, and we are just there like showing them.
The winner, the first one up, and the second round.
And that's very rare that
cool
you get
that. Yeah.
We have had 3 events already where we were all there. And that is why I'm saying to you, this is a really strong group.
Yeah.
Because even Richard, that's from Cape Town, he can't attend all of our events, but just there where we can't be, he pops up.
So
and
what
that
do
is how
you think brings you so close together?
I think it's because for the very first time, we said we're not doing it for the body or the looks or the title. We're doing it for the community. We're doing it to actually say, it's enough. We had enough.
Yeah.
We now want to be heard by our own community. We can't change people's perspective on the way they see sexuality, the way they were raised. But we can change the perspective of how we give out the picture to them, how they see us. Because I feel that's the fine line about why people don't accept the LGBTQI. It's not necessarily about you as individual. It's about what your community present you to be as. And that is the problem. And that is what we want to change.
Yeah. And I think that is really nice that you've decided to work together, for a greater cause in the society. So you also have pageant organizations that you own. Perhaps you can share with us, where does the passion come from to want to establish them? And also, how similar are they or how different are they?
Okay, so it's a bit of a story, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to take you right back to the part no one has really heard in deep.
Okay.
It's where my pageant journey started. I never wanted to do pageants. As a high school boy, I knew I was like, I was into boys, but didn't want to get out. Got engaged to a girl,
Oh,
and that is where it started because very intimate. Every relationship is about, you the sex beforehand.
yeah.
And we were very traditional. We're not going to do it. But the night of the engagement party, things got a bit rough. And then I just like, I can't do this. I'm not comfortable with this.
It's not
This is not
me.
me,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. You can say what you want to say, but if it's not for you, it's not going to
no.
work.
Yeah,
That's true. So I was like, this is now time for me to break this. And now I was already engaged to her. Her dad has been, they've been a good family.
What brought you to engage her? What was it? Peer pressure? Was
No,
it
so it was we were. She was head girl. I was deputy head boy. We did all the plays together. So we did things that
spend time together.
yes, and we did things that both of us like.
Okay.
So she was actually very, can I say, more manly than I were. But I liked that about her, and she liked that I wasn't so going to like her bad boy type of boy.
Okay.
So I think that helped us. So we did love each other, but I don't think we loved each other in the
That
romantic
manner.
way.
Makes
We
sense.
we loved each other as friends, and
Yeah.
although it's a shame we didn't stay friends, I think it was most probably better.
Yeah.
The pain that came with it,
Yeah.
and I take my part in it because that's how I identified myself. So then I broke up the engagement. And then I was like, what am I going to do now? Because now the church is there, everyone is there. They're like, what happened? Then I was like, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to enter a pageant. I'm a very introvert, but I'm going to do this. Let's show them.
Okay.
And I won that pageant against people that was doing modeling, So, and then I surprised everyone. And then I was like, this is how I can make a change. I grew up with nothing. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry for that flute
It's
time.
okay.
So I grew up with nothing. I had a single mom, and she raised three kids. It's a long story,
Yeah.
but she raised us with the point of you do not just get anything; you work for what you want. And I decided now it's time for me to help the people that struggles with that. The lower part of the communities, because I was still part of that lower part.
Yeah.
I've always been part of the lower part because that is the people I can relate to. And then I entered the next pageant, Gauteng, and I won that one. And then it became a thing. And then I had this date stop where I entered the Mr. Global South Africa for the first time. Now, Mr. Global South Africa is a very straight pageant.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, this is where I want to make a change. So I entered it. I became the ambassador. I was like, this is not good enough for me. I'm going to open a pageant based on what people need. We don't need beauty queens. We need people that, regardless of what you look like, and regardless of what your age is, you can still make a difference and be rewarded with, a little bit of fame. Because who doesn't like the attention?
Yeah.
And then I started my first pageant on Facebook. With the Facebook pageant online. That was my very first one, 2019.
That was creative.
And then I did well, and then I was like, let's book a hall, I kept it small, and I booked that hall, and the people were having to buy tickets for online viewing because all 400 tickets sold out.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then we did 3 pageants a year, and I went over to Silver Star. Up until this day, I've paid every event out of the money of the pageants. The money that was raised by the pageants, the crowns, all the things we did was with 0 sponsors because I was determined to make this work, and I'm going strong for that.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 very successful cases, which I'm very proud of. One is going to Fashion Week in New York City.
What?
So that is where she built up, and she started with that very first pageant in a small hall, and she didn't even win it. She just ambassador. And she said the same thing I said. She said, I'm not giving up because I want to give back, but I am going to nail this beauty part in between because You want to see beauty?
Yeah.
We'll give
Maybe
you
give
beauty. And, you know, that is what inspires me to do pageants.
Yeah.
And I've built my entire brand on that. And I've never broken off that. I said, you can keep your money. You can keep whatever you want to try and sponsor. If you cannot give them what I want you to represent, you'd contact my platform. Because my platform is not there for you to grow.
Yeah.
You are there to use my platform to grow yourself.
Amazing.
So, yeah, that is what it's been about. And I've launched now my pageants, national and international. And then I've got the first continental happening in March.
Oh.
And
so that's March 2025.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
That is a
you.
huge step.
And then we're going to do the international for the second time around, where we
Yeah.
actually get people from overseas that flies into South Africa to take part in our pageant. And that means that we are getting there. And it's not where I want it to be yet, but I still believe in, you know, we can give South Africa a run for our money.
Right. I mean, the fact that you started and that it is happening,
Yes.
obviously, you know, each year it will get, you know, stronger as you go.
And it's because we don't have one group of queens. We have at least 3 groups. It all falls under the royalty brand because we want to be royalty. That is my royalty. Everything is royalty because I believe everyone is royalty.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you see inside. And
Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. Record video, music, and podcast in our full-service studio. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. Record video, music, and podcast in our full-service studio. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
the brand started in 2019. We are now 2024.
Yeah.
And I must say we grew from that up to about venues of 600 people.
Sure.
And I am not making a profit. We're not making a profit, but we are making what I want to see.
You're making an impact
Yes,
that you want to see.
that's what I want.
So can you tell us the names of the pageant organizations that you have for somebody perhaps that is watching that will want to check them out?
So we have the Royalty ZA pageants. That is the very first one I had. That's my little baby. So it's not a very active one, but it will stay my baby. It's the growth of this pageant.
Yeah.
Then there's the Royal ZA Star, the Royal World South Africa pageant, Royal Africa Continental pageant, and then the Royal International pageants.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just need to make sure about the wording because
you
there's
get
2 or
them
3
right.
other words in between where there's other competitions.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess that up. Yeah.
No,
So
it makes sense. So for all of them, how do they differ? And I'm asking this in terms of is one of them or some of them for queer people and others for straight people, or it doesn't really matter. It's a matter of it's a pageant and we are looking for the best that can be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I've got categories in each one of them, and all my pageants runs the same.
Yeah.
But I've built them so I can give them to my friends that has the same vision as I do, so that we can build our visions together. So that is what I just did now in June. I gave them each a part, and now I said to them, "No, let's build this thing.
Yeah.
The way it's going to be, you fund it out of your pageant. I don't want anything. I want this brand to grow. I want us to grow."
Yeah.
So, what was the base of your question? Let me just quickly.
So with all of them, as you have named them,
Yes.
right? How do they
Oh,
differ
the
in terms
categories.
of the categories? Yeah.
So each of them has the set amount of categories.
Okay.
I've got a categories for the babies. So the babies are there for cuteness because any mommy likes to put a baby on stage. And we are very lenient there that we say just because that mommy came with a baby and she walked with her baby, that baby is getting a sash, and the sash says winner for all of the babies. So they are in competition with themselves, but I think the reward is still there. Like, I was this as a baby, why don't I try this again? It's the encouragement I hope to build one day. It's a sneaky way to get finalists, but it's also a way to build them, you know, because that is the first problem we run in at school. They bully us, we run away.
Yeah.
But if you've got that sash, you're gonna come back eventually. I promise you. Once you put it back. And then we've got the categories for the teenagers and the preteens.
Okay.
So the preteens are based on the mommy presenting themselves against each other. So it's not a category that I usually must say I like, because there's a lot of mommies involved, and it makes it a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't take it away from the kids. And then the teenagers, they do quite a good thing, because they are now on their way to knowing what they want to become and where they're going to do that with their daily work.
Yeah.
And then I've got the Miss and the Misses.
Okay.
And I've got a category MS. Now, that is there because there are not a lot of divorced people or people with babies and so can enter. But I must say to you, that category is my best category, closest to the new categories, which is the LGBTQI. So we had our second pageant with that one.
Okay.
So we have got a gay category for the males and the females now. And then last year we started now with the last pageant, a drag category, because it became a very big need. Although we didn't get the amount of entries, we had one queen there, and I think she's doing such an amazing job now that her platform is going to inspire people to actually do it. Because, I mean, I am LGBTQI, but at this stage, they are not enough for me to say, let's just make them go, because at the end of the day, I want them to work with my straight people so that we can get that first fixed. Yeah. I've got big dreams, but people think I'm mad sometimes.
And the thing about dreams is that because they are more in your mind, we don't get to see them or understand them until they happen. Then when it happens, like, oh, this is what Gevahn meant, you know, that kind of a thing. So generally, the perception is that, you know, beauty is more about, or beauty pageants rather, are more about beauty and entertainment, you know, dressing up and walking the stage and getting to win, right? But really be beyond or behind, you know, all of this beauty and glitz and the glam, what are the important things that you'll say when people participate are able to take away with?
So there is the beauty, and that is usually for the sash collectors. So there's a lot of competitions for them, and I respect that because they say they are there to win. They are competing themselves off. So that is definitely based purely on what you walk on stage, how much you can outwalk the other person. That is very outerly. So that's judgy type of pageants. And then you've got the pageant where there's the what you give. The charity pageants. And the background around that is, I think we realized that everyone is not the same, and we cannot put everyone in the same boxes. And that is one thing I see in my daily job as well as an educator. We expect the kids. Sorry, I'm very off topic as well because it comes together. So we expect the kids to learn in a class at the same time without catering for the different needs. Because in a class of 41, how many of them can be the same? It's like that photo you get very, very clear. It's a fish and bowl, there's a tortoise, and then there's the bear. And they say climb the tree, you get the same marks. I mean, that is what we do in pageants as well. We say climb the tree, we're going to put you at the same judging panel, regardless of what you did before my event. We're going to judge you now. And the stage part for me at my pageants is it's a celebration. And I want my people to take away, and I've got one thing I say to them beforehand. It's not that you're a loser. It's not that you didn't do good enough. It's just not your time yet. You are still building yourself.
That is powerful.
I feel the same happens with anything we do. We are so focused on we want it now, we want it to grow, we want it going, and it's not fast enough. Yes, and once we lose control, we're like, but what now? And then I'm like, just wait, it's not your time yet. And a lot of times I was let down and I had to give myself this speech and I'm like, what am I talking about? This is a terrible thing. But I always say that to my girls and boys before they started a pageant. I said to them, if you have a problem with the way it's going to end up, if you do not want it to score you bad and you cannot take it, I would rather give you everything back and do not take part. I don't want to let you down. I want you to say, I did it, and I either did my best, I did what I wanted to accomplish, or I want to do it again and try better.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the people. I feel bad at pageants. I'm very glad I'm not there. I don't check the scores. I give over the crowns and then I'm excited with them. Because
You don't have to do the tough job of judging and go.
I think the most difficult part is knowing the results and trying to keep your face without giving your point of view. So as a director, you've got your favorites, but at the end of the day, it's I score you based on what I promised you you're going to be scored on. And the stage, it does count a little part. But that one is, I want to see you celebrate with us. Celebrate the journey. You had 9 months journey. Now it's there one day. You call it a pageant competition. It's not a competition. It's about having fun on stage. Celebrating with the people you worked with for 9 months. That is what I think we should take from this.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take what you won. That piece of material, if it burns down tonight, are you now going to stop work? No, because you're building the platform. You must be there. You must say, I did this.
Yeah.
That is what I
So
what I can take.
as queer people, when we do pageantry, what are some of the things that would say become challenges for us compared to maybe straight people, if I should put it that way?
So, in a lot of competitions, the gay and straight people is in one category because they don't cater for them separately. Seeing that men does enter competitions at a very lower rate than females. So, if you have got a full category, you are lucky.
Okay.
So, I think the biggest challenge for us is gay people and straight people in one room together. One of the two feels uncomfortable. And I don't know why, because it's not like
It's quite
just
strange,
because I'm
right?
gay doesn't mean I want you, you know? And you might think that, or sometimes they don't think that, but we think that. So it gets uncomfortable, and that's when things happens like different dressing rooms. Then we already divide each other.
Yeah.
And I think that is the biggest challenge we have currently. It's not taking part against each other as same. It's taking part against each other in a competition, showing off, but then we want to bring our backgrounds into it. And I feel that is where we should stand together and say, you know, I'm comfortable with you. We understand each other. We are here to take part, to have fun, to do what we came to accomplish.
Yeah.
Who's going to care about a dressing room?
Right.
So it's a small thing that shows that we don't allow each other the same amount of
opportunities.
Opportunities.
Yeah, and even access. And you're quite right that there's a lot of that. It's not even confusion, man. That you'll find that people get uncomfortable around you.
And there's no need to be.
There's no need to be. And I love the fact that you're highlighting that. Being gay
strong about
doesn't
that.
mean you love every man you see.
Yes,
You've got your own preferences,
Yes,
you know.
I mean,
and also, if you see a straight person, it doesn't mean you'll want to be with them because you can see they're straight.
If you're cute, we might look.
Yeah,
Going to look.
right.
Going to look.
There's
We're
something
going
special
to
about
do
you.
our breaking the neck type of thing, looking at the chips past, but we don't eat that.
We window shopping.
Window shopping. We're looking what's on the menu, but we are eating at home tonight. So we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And just like you're going to do that with a lesbian girl, maybe. She's going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
But then she may not judge you, but you judge us, you know? So I think that is the one thing that we still struggle with. It's feeling comfortable around each other just because what our sexuality and our gender says. The first thing when I came out to one of the teachers, she knew I was gay before anyone else. She was the drama teacher. She knew everything. She was also like the school mommy for me. And she said to me, the first time I was very uncomfortable, I said to her, but how am I going to tell my mom? My uncle is very conservative. How am I going to tell them? You know, you understand.
Yeah.
But you are the teacher. You don't know my family. And she said to me, the one thing you tell them is, I'm a man just like you.
Yeah.
I just happen to like another man. That's the only difference.
That's it.
There's nothing more. Regardless of the looks, we're all different, so that doesn't change you. it's literally the big problem comes in about what I do in my bedroom. And if that becomes a problem, what's the problem? Why are you uncomfortable for what I do in my bedroom and who I love, who my person is, who makes me happy? And yeah, that is the. I don't even know how to structure the rest of this answer, but that is where it comes down to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sure. So also there are rumors, because I've not participated much in the pageantry space. That
I think I should enter you in one. You just get the feeling.
just to get the feeling, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I should try. Let us know what you think. Should I enter a competition and try it out? There's this thing that in the pageantry space, people get to be mean. As much as they come out smiling, looking smart.
I know what you talk
But
about.
behind, when those activities happen before the finale, when they engage each other,
When the stress factor is added.
Oh.
The stress factor. So you get to know a lot of people that you see them on TV, and you're like, wow, these girls look happy, and then when the camera is not there, you do not hang around that one. You just get out of my space. So that happens a lot, and that is where we are sneaky sometimes. We put a judge behind stage, and that judge, if that judge calls you bad, that means you are not a good person like you're presenting yourself to be. And I have done that in my international, and I had a winner that was very nice on stage.
Wow.
But she was mean backstage with no one else. Then now you're fighting with the wrong people. The one person that decided to come perform for the show for free as an entertainer, but she was a drag queen, and she shared a bathroom together, and she was mean with her. And I was like, you are mean to a sponsor of the brand you want to represent. And that is the part we sometimes forget. So a lot of people was angry afterwards. And I was like, you do not know what this cause was about. They knew very clear there's going to be a judge backstage. They didn't know who it's going to be, but they knew that. So I didn't surprise them with it. The first pageant I did, and that didn't help.
Okay.
But then I said, I'm open with them. I said to them, this is for the amount of things you do. This is the percentages it counts. This is not going to end up on the day on your stage. It's going to be your backstage. You do not need to be ugly. We're all in a hurry. And when the pressure is added.
Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. Record video, music, and podcast in our full-service studio. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself. Record video, music, and podcast in our full-service studio. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
Is when you see the real people. So yeah, there is the fighting, and that is not only the queens and kings.
Yeah.
It comes to the mummies as well. And it's very bad for me because why do we fight? I still don't understand that. Why are we entering then? Is it for the sash then? Is it really that nice to have that sash for a year around your neck? And if it gets taken away, do you still feel strong?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Miss South Africa, they are established. They know what the queens need. You, when you enter, you know, I'm going to do this, and I have to represent the brand to build myself. Because the last 4 or 5, actually since Demi Lee Moore, our very starter of the Miss Universe again. I can't remember that. I can't forget that night. Waking up and not believing that news. But from there on, they are not queens anymore. But the platforms they've built is remarkable. And if you cannot build that with your brand, you cannot have that afterwards.
Makes sense.
So why are we fighting each other in a pageant? Because that is not what we want. Because are you going to fight then the people afterwards if they have to support you? I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, it really does.
I'm very deep when it comes to my passion. And I think that is why I do it for the, because it's my passion. It's
Yeah.
things I like. And I want to see that have people more opportunities.
Yeah.
For especially people who don't get opportunities.
So, as a queer person in the pageantry space, when Miss South Africa announced that now they are allowing trans women to participate, what did that, say to you?
I think that is the first step to, like when I said to you, where we come together.
Yeah.
Because I don't say much about, everyone's got their own feeling about who they feel to be.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, who I am is who I wasn't meant to be. So that's who that person is. So I've got no judgment to them. So you judging her for being there, she is a woman. And now that they can be together, it just shows that South Africa is actually moving there in the female sport so far.
Yeah.
And it means we are getting there because we are including ourselves regardless of our sexuality. Again, we are including people. We are including hearts, souls working towards a better world. And I think that for me, strongly, it's what I want.
Yeah.
But it's just, I want it for me to start with there as well. Because at this stage, we are in categories.
Yeah.
Eventually, that categories must fall away because if I am not identifying as anything, which category do I enter? And I can't say open category because how are we going to define open?
Yeah.
Because I want to be.
And how do you even judge open category?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to be the royal pageant title holder.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to be placed in a box. I hate a box. I'm
Yeah.
claustrophobic. So putting me in a box,
You
I'm
wanna
going to
be
kick
free.
it open. I'm going to get into your box. I'm going to take what I want in your box. And I'm going to get to that box again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is, I don't know how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But that is
and I think I love the fact that you with your passion and your intentions and the vision that you have is that you want people to take part in a meaningful way, and that in the process they're able to impact other people's lives in a positive way, while their lives as well are being impacted in a positive way, right? And we have also experienced, with Mr. Gay South Africa, where a title holder said, "I'm stepping out."
I participated
And
with that
is
year.
it?
I was in the top 10 that year.
Yeah.
And then the top 3 was actually, one of them was my roommates. And till this day, we talk about that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we forget the platforms we represent shuts us up more than we are actually able to speak out. And I think, I'm not going to name his name, but I think he spoke out, and then coincidentally they attacked him. They threw him at the lawsuit, but then the runner-up did the very same thing.
Yeah, and I think that's what really caught now my full attention, to say, but if even the runner-up is complaining about the same thing, then there's a problem here.
Yes, and I'm not saying they are wrong. I'm not saying they are right. I'm just saying, don't throw them with the law. Let's work together to improve where we've lost the road. Let's work together. Say, okay, fine. You think I'm wrong. I feel I'm not. I feel you are wrong. You feel you are not. So let's see what is wrong here. And I do understand his point of view. But at the end of the day as well, we also give to some free, but then there can't be a requirement to go there. So the problem, I think, came in with they didn't pay anything for him, his travel away. And it was part of the price package, that whenever he has to go to an event that's compulsory, they cover it.
Okay.
And he said nothing about that. He went over and they said to him, you can't say this, you can't do this. Then I'm like, okay, I'm doing my part, but changing myself, I will also have done the very same thing. Because if you're going to, that's why I struggle to get sponsors.
Yeah.
I am not going to change me, not going to change my brand to fit around what you feel is agreeable.
Yeah.
I get your brand stands for something, but don't change my brand. Support my brand for who we are, and we'll give you your advertisement, everything like you want it for you, without changing our values.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I'm very, just like it's my way or no way. But it's not that. It's just like I have a vision, and if I'm going to change myself for a sponsorship, I'm selling out to something else, and that's what we've been doing in our community.
Yeah.
And as an LGBTQI in the workplace this year, I did it a lot.
Okay.
I kept quiet because I was thinking I need a job, and then I just decided
This is it.
line.
Yeah.
Line. I'm doing the line. I'm starting my own extra things, but I am not gonna keep quiet. And they threatened and they stopped helping me, but I was like, you're still not gonna keep me quiet.
Yeah.
I am going to live out my passion without putting it into your face, but I want you to support me for who I am because I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
Why can't you just say thank you and do your part?
Right.
It's not. It's like a relationship. Like my husband, he's a
Yeah.
big part. We don't see always in public like, yeah. So I'm in public. I'm very private,
Yeah.
and he is not always. So
Okay.
and that's what I like about him. He still supports it, and he respects the privacy of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I have a problem with that. I just don't want to put myself in people's faces. So I feel the straight people that we want to work with. We want them to work with us. So how can I then sit there and eat my boyfriend's face off and they must look at that? And then we're like, cool, ons wil nou saam kuier. We want to kuier together, we want to bond. I wouldn't have bonded with a straight person that says they're doing that in front of me. So that's where I feel that privacy is like, we are married. You must know, I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud of my husband. I'm proud of having him next to me because he's my biggest supporter.
Yeah.
But I'm still respecting you of what you believe in.
Yeah.
So
I totally get you because it's not always easy.
Yeah.
For other people, because I share the same sentiments with you that as much as I'm in the public eye, I'd prefer my partner not to be in the public eye. Because also
breaking the rules. I'll tell you now.
Because also it's more like when you are both in the public eye, you get home, there's no time to escape to a safer place because you still talk about the same stuff, you still feel the same environment.
I think we're competing now. Then we start competing.
Yeah.
So I'm a very competitive person. That's a very competitive person. My friends will tell you that. Board games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like competing because I like winning.
Yeah.
It just gives me that but it's also a bad thing though. Sorry for this.
Okay.
So my husband is also an introvert.
Okay.
And he's now, I take it as a good thing, but also take it as, I said to him I mustn't do that for that in the start, but now I can't say to him I'm not supporting him because I do support him. So he's taken my story and he wants to make his story better.
Oh.
And he's going to take the same route around. So my husband is on a weight loss journey and he's been doing well and I'm very proud of him for that. A lot of people has judged him still for entering a competition at his current look. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with him. And he's now entering Mr. Gay Nations.
Okay.
Because he wants to say, he's proud of what he's been representing. He's also wanting to give back now. He wants to follow in my footsteps. So I'm like, I'm basically a role model, but at the same time, I'm like, they're going to think you're just my husband, so you have to.
Yeah. I think it could be challenging from that perspective, but
I'm still going to support
But
him.
as I'm sitting here, I'm actually getting that your work inspired him to want to do better, because also come to think of it, there are queer people who are also, fully figured, right? And he's basically representing those people that they also feel represented in those spaces as well.
Can I just grab us? Sorry, my
Okay,
cough is very
it's all right.
I'm
Yeah.
very sorry. Sorry.
Okay, grab something to drink.
I'm not used to talking that much.
Yeah.
I came from Limpopo today.
Is it?
So the roads also.
Yeah, no. It's been and it's hot.
Yes.
With the aircon as well.
I'm doing what I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very sorry for doing that.
It's okay. Don't worry. We'll just cut it out.
Thank you. It's been going good at least.
Yeah. Okay. So your husband is doing this. He's participating. It's lovely because then also when you're in the same space, you understand the dynamics, And it for me is you've inspired him to want to do, something in that space as well. Yeah.
So I do believe it's a good thing for him, especially for my husband, because he loves people.
Yeah.
He's like me. He loves talking. I just don't like talk. I'm actually introvert when I get to a group.
Oh.
But
yeah.
now we're talking about something that's very passionate. Yes, then I will kill you with words, and I'm gonna jump through my stories because everything I do, some way or another, is connected.
Yeah.
So because I won't do it if it's not gonna advance what my vision is for where I want to be in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So I did not expect him to do that in the meanwhile. I expected him to be the supporting husband, see from the sides, being like the proud one, but the shy one, because
Yeah.
he's not a spotlight.
Okay.
And then he surprised me with this when he entered, and I'm like, I heard it from the director of the pageant, and then I just sat him down and said to him, we're going to have a speak.
Yeah.
Now we have to speak. Because I am currently now a title holder, and you are going to be a finalist under our reign. So I'm also now officially the ambassador for the New Year's people. So we're all still part of the organization. So if you're a mentor, it means you take someone under your wing. You want to show them.
Okay.
So I am the mentor for the heroes. So the hero is now like a charity. So I want to work with all of them, at least a bit. But then I must know I'm going to work with him as well. And I'm going to have to work with him as fair as I have to work with the rest. So that's where integrity is going to come in.
That's true.
And I said to him, don't take offense. And I felt like so bad having to say that to my husband because I'm supposed to be inspiring him, and now I'm just like sounding like I'm judging him, but we have to have that talk. So that was the hardest part for me on the journey yet, and we are now just 1 month into it.
Yeah.
But having to sit him down and say, if you are going to mess up, you're going to mess up. And I'm not going to be there to catch you and say, okay, let me use my contact in. It's a fair competition. You're going to do your part, and you're going to work for what you want like I did. And I do that with anything I do.
Yeah.
If you do not work for it, don't expect it. Nothing in this life is free. You can work your ways. Some way you are paying for it.
But like you said, more than anything, it's about integrity. Getting things done the right way.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what's at stake. My integrity comes
first. Yeah.
It's like my belief.
Yeah.
Because who made me?
Right.
That is going to be above you, my relationship. Because at the end of the day, there's just one thing you can turn back to.
So now going into the future, what does the future look like? What are the plans?
So I've officially, I'm busy. December is going to be my last month as a teacher.
Okay.
And I'm sorry if they hear that in advance, but I have decided to take we bought a tutor center, which is a very exciting step because I can still work with kids, but a very limited time. I want to go bigger in the pageants. And I know people say I'm almost shooting myself in the foot, but I don't want to make R1 million. Obviously, there must be a profit so I can at least survive as well, but not a comfortable life. I want to be there to build people more.
Okay.
So I have launched my events company, which will take care of all of the events planning. So people that has the passion for planning pageants doesn't usually have it on stage, but that's where I want to use them. I want the skills there because they want to do that part. And then I have the part where I have the pageants. That's going to be the base, the feeding of this, because that's the heart. It's what we do. The charity is there, but if it wasn't for the pageant, it wouldn't be there.
True.
So I'm not an MPO. We support the MPO.
Okay.
And every time we support a new, but Wings of Inspiration has been keeping themselves there because if they give us the way thanks we give them without costing either one of us money, then how can I change them, How can I change my page? So that's there. And then the last part of the future holds in, I am now in the process of launching our modeling school, which will run with my agency,
Oh,
where I am looking into taking my models that takes part, regardless of where you're placed. If you want to be used in fashion shows or you just want to be used in advertisements or so, because that is where we all start out. I want you to be that platform without me taking your money, just to make sure that you can make your dreams. And then you can take another person. That's going to be the way you're going to pay back.
yeah,
You're going to take another person and say, now I'm helping you. Like I've been helped in this program.
yeah.
So it won't cost them money, it won't cost me money, but it will get a bigger success. And I think that is going to be the bigger dream in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
because it's a tough market, and especially when you don't charge them.
Yeah.
But I believe at that time it will be providing for itself.
Sure. Amazing. Amazing stuff.
We're gonna make South Africa the new Philippines of pageants.
Oh my word. The vision is clear.
It's there.
Gevahn, thank you so much for making
Thank
time
you.
to speak it to
I
us.
enjoyed it.
And also, I'm glad you did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also sharing so much information. For me, you've made me understand what the
There's lots more.
pageantry space is about. I know limited time, but I really appreciate what you have shared with us, and I believe that people that are watching as well have found some insights in terms of how beauty pageantry space works, particularly for LGBTQI plus people.
And also, it's for those that feels I'm not beautiful. It's that type of people I want there, because I want to show you are beautiful on the way that people don't look at. Who says my view and your view of beauty is there?
True.
That is the purpose. So
Yeah.
I want the people who's looking now. If you do not think you will ever do a pageant, give me a call. Let's try it. Let's give you the
see.
opportunity.
Sure. So where do they check out your stuff?
So I think for the pageants wise, it is the World International Pageants or the Royalty ZA pageants. The Royalty ZA pageants, like I said, that's the baby where all our things connects.
Yeah.
So either one of those two pages on Facebook or Instagram, or on my pages is Gevahn Brandt. If you go on Instagram, it's Gevahn Official Brandt.
Okay.
And then TikTok, of course, the Official Brandt. So any one of those, if you just inbox or so, it will get you on the start. Or there's always an entry form or a ticket. Some people present themselves by attending and saying, let's make the connections. It's different ways, but there is a space for you. And I feel if you feel you are not belonging anywhere, you will find a space. And don't say, I won't. There's always, it's not always the same. That's just maybe you seeing the right thing at the very right time that will change your life. It did it for me. And that was for me getting over my fiance. And then I was like, I'm gay. I'm doing straight pageants. And then I ended off with a gay pageant. And I'm like, now who's following?
And look at you now, right? That is Gevahn Brandt. And this is how we're wrapping it up today. And we've learned so much about pageantry, particularly in the LGBTQI plus space. So you can follow Gevahn with those handles that Gevahn shared, so you can see how they do things and maybe then DM them to get more information and get in touch with them. So until the next one, do subscribe and also share with your friends and let them share with their friends and let them know that Gevahn was on The Real Queer Talk. Until next time.